why they shouldn't be quite so frightened?
First of all, I want to say that we're nowhere near recommending or let alone adopting a central bank digital currency in any form. But the idea is that as technology has evolved, money has become digital. So, but the government doesn't issue digital money. It's digital. If you look at your bank account, people don't hold those physical dollars. They're digital. So the thought was that the government could create a digital form of money that people could then transfer among themselves. Now, of course, that raises a concern that if that were a government account, that the government would see all your transactions, and that's just something we would not stand for or do or propose here in the United States. That is how it works in China, for example. But that's not what if we were to ever to do something like this, and we're a very long way from even thinking about it, we would do this through the banking system. The last thing we would want, we the Federal Reserve would want, would be to have individual accounts for all Americans, or any Americans for that matter. Only banks have accounts at the Fed. And that's the way we're going to keep it. So it's just really, it's a question of following technology as it evolves and in a way that serves the public better. People don't need to worry about a central bank digital currency. Nothing like that is remotely close to happening anytime soon. This is something we've been focused on digital currencies for a couple decades. This is something we've been focused on digital currencies for a couple decades.
Does the ability to stake Ether change your perspective on whether an Ether ETP is a suitable product, like a spot Bitcoin ETP?
Again, I'm not going to speak to the specifics of filings in front of us. I understand the question.
In general, though, can you talk? Not about a specific item.
I think there's 15 to 20,000 of these crypto tokens. And for many of them, the investing public is looking for a better future based upon the efforts of others. And why do I say that? Think about it. Most of them, Jennifer, you can find an entrepreneur, a CEO, and actually interview her and sit down with the business leaders of that. You can find a website. You can find the investing public, oftentimes, depending upon the facts, are investing their hard-earned funds into a investment contract, is what the law would call it, when you're investing in something, anticipating a profit based on the efforts of a group. And this is the law of the land. That's the Supreme Court lays that out.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold. I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, well, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book. Remember, the New World Order book shows you how the world really works, and it is definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep, especially in the times that we're in right now. And 2024 is going to be one of our most entertaining years. We have the presidential election. We have the drums are beating. We have the emerging markets going to be flipping the switch on the fourth industrial revolution. Now, we had the Fed signal rate cuts, but remember, guys, they haven't cut rates yet. So like I told you, I definitely see a big pullback in the first quarter. Then the master magician set up a distraction so the Fed can cut rates, and then we move up. And also, guys, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, much love to those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. Guys, if you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're donating to the channel through the actual Cash App. But guys, this next Bitcoin and crypto bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure you have the cryptos that have real utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now we have Bitcoin and crypto pulling back, guys. We know we have options. But then on the weekend, guys, we know we are the only game in town. So we're definitely going to be moving up. But guys, remember, over these next 2 weeks, we're going to be on a roller coaster ride, because we know the Fed is going to be making some adjustments. Now, we have crypto exchange daily volume rises to nearly 100 billion for the first time since 2021. And we know that is mainly institutions. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we had the jobs numbers come out today, and they tell us everything. But of course, the media puts a twist on it. But they added 275,000 jobs in February. But the key is, guys, Last month, the numbers got revised. So instead of 353,000, it dropped all the way down to 229,000. And we know once February gets adjusted, it probably drops down to 100,000. Guys, we keep getting layoffs after layoffs after layoffs. But remember, this is part of a plan. It moves in phases. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, guys, do not forget to pay attention to the actual indicators. We have yield rates dropping, as we can see, for no reason. It's all manipulation. The 10-year yield should be way over 5%. But remember, guys, it's going to be a slow grind up, and the stock market is going to have a slow grind down. We have NVIDIA still popping, but we see a lot of the Magnificent Seven stocks pulling back. And then we have the dollar down, which of course should be up. We have volume and crypto down. We have Tether and USDC. And then, of course, guys, we have the Fed. Repo at $436 billion. And now the repo is slowly moving down. Make sure you're pulling on a daily basis. But we know eventually it's going to be touching zero. Now, guys, we had Jerome in the house yesterday. Speaking about CBDC, says nowhere near pursuing a CBDC. Now, guys, we see all the tests of the central banks testing CBDCs, and we know all about Enbridge, the top 25 central banks coming together in order to create a CBDC. And Jerome Powell states that a CBDC, if there was to have one, wouldn't be used to spy on Americans. Yes, guys, you can't make this stuff up. And like I stated, it doesn't matter whether they want to call it a stable coin or a CBDC. If it's on blockchain, they can track every single payment. That is the point. They want to move over to a cashless society. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, guys, do not forget about the spot Bitcoin ETFs. We have Blackrock, Fidelity, and Grayscale, all slightly up. Now, we have the SEC pushes back on timeline on Blackrock spot Bitcoin ETF options trading application. And guys, we know that's when the casino begins. They're already giving you the timeline. Basically, if approved, this what this article states could open the door to even more institutional players and open the door for more institutional players to short Bitcoin. And they have until April 24th. And we know when it comes to options, you're just betting on whether it's going up or down. Nothing but the casino. Now we have bankrupt Cryptoteacher exchange to return crypto to some creditors. Now we have 4% of the entire Bitcoin supply is now backing U.S. spot ETFs. And like I've stated, we already had Bitcoin spot ETFs around the globe. These big corporations could have been invested their money there. But the United States spot Bitcoin ETFs, they flood them. And the reason why, guys, because there's a bigger plan behind it. And we know this because we see the big players. We know BlackRock and Aladdin is coming to take over. And BlackRock is nothing but another hand of the Fed. And like Larry Fink stated, these ETFs are the gateway to all these stocks being tokenized and put on blockchain. Never forget the goal, the fourth industrial revolution. But first, guys, they need a crisis. And lastly, we have Pantera raises funds to buy Solana holdings from FTX. And we have Solana hits over 150 before pulling back slightly. But we know who's in charge of this FTX fund. That's Galaxy Digital, Mike Novogratz, the Goldman Sachs guy. And we see these tokens being handed in the same hands. And they're definitely trying to get top dollar. It's all manipulation. And then we have the SECGary Gensler wants to bring in that Ethereum movie. I told you it's coming. These movies just keep coming. We have the Tether, we have the Binance, we have the FTX, Ripple, Ethereum. These movies just keep coming. And remember, Gary Gensler and Janet Yellen, their job is to get us landed into the fourth industrial revolution. They're the big pieces to the puzzle. And Gary Gensler is playing nothing but the Hegelian dialectic. He's basically saying that staking is a security, But we know that CFTC has already called Ethereum a commodity. But we know they're going to play the Hegelian dialectic. You have to have the two sides in order to move the agenda forward. And of course, guys, that's this digital economy, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.